What's going on, guys? Sam from NewMarketingU here, and today I'm talking to you about the 3 things that I learned from Evan Carmichael's team. Now, when I talk about Evan Carmichael's team, I'm specifically talking about one person here whose name is Jeremy. And for those that don't know, Jeremy is the behind the scenes force behind Evan Carmichael's channel growth to now at 2 to 3 million subscribers, which is amazing, and he helps pretty notable clients. Now, Jeremy and I pretty much do the same thing. I also help YouTubers, and not just YouTubers, but corporations and small to medium businesses also grow with YouTube. So along the way, I believe Jeremy and I may have shared a few of the same clients unknowingly, which is pretty awesome. And just, I think 2 years ago, we worked with the same client. We were hired for the same client to grow their YouTube channel. And working with him in that role, I got to understand a few things, and a lot of it in this video will be the things that I learned from him indirectly, but I'll make another video where I talk about the things that I've learned from him directly too, because I learned quite a lot. Working with him with that client trying to grow her YouTube channel a few years ago, we had 2 different ways of thinking when it comes to growing a YouTube channel and generally trying to monetize it, etc. And it led me to believe these 3 things. The first one is, don't overthink, add value. Now, being in the space where I've been helping people grow their social media and growing that, trying to monetize that, trying to grow an audience behind it that actually means something or that's actually worth something, I learned the first thing: don't overthink. Don't overthink and add value. And the reason why I say that is because before I started the path that I'm on now and what we help clients do, I used to overthink so much. I used to think, well, why would this client or this prospect, before I turned them into a client, or why would this person think that I'm the right person to help their YouTube channel and their YouTube growth? Why would they think that if I haven't blown up my YouTube to like 1 million subscribers or 500,000 or whatever? Why would they think that? Usually you think that you'll need to get to a certain point in time for you to then blow up someone else's channel. But working with Jeremy helped me to understand that that's not necessarily the case. You don't have to blow up your own channel for you to be considered, like an actual expert in the YouTube space, or not just YouTube space, but that just in general. What it actually takes is a lot of learning skills, like just learning how to do it and trying to implement and then trying to get someone a certain result. Then of course you can work forward. But even before that, if you want to get hired in a certain space, you may not be experienced for the role, but you can still, not overthinking it, just say the honest truth. Just be like, look, I haven't grown many people, but this is the space that I've been learning about. This is the space I'm obsessed with, and I'm willing to grow and learn with you and blow up your channel. And trust me, a lot of people would probably hear you say that and be like, well, this guy hasn't blown up any channels, but he said he's obsessed with it. He said he knows what could work on YouTube. He's definitely someone that gives good ideas, because again, if you're talking to someone about growing their YouTube and this person is a notable figure, then they may give you that shot because they just believe that you can take them to that level or to the next level that you say or you think you can. Being honest and just adding value, just speaking to someone and just saying, I haven't done it, but this is what I would do if I was running your YouTube channel, and do you think it could work in any way? So that's a way to go around it. I used to think that I need to be this ultra popular, like everybody needs to know me type of person. Because again, if you go on YouTube, on Jeremy's own channel or his socials, he's not at 100,000 or 1 million or a notable enough. I hate saying the word notable or notable enough, but he's not at a level where you're like, oh wow, he's surpassed certain milestones that are pretty hard to get. But still, he has that resume and those case studies behind him of who he's grown. So a lot of the time, you know, you just need to get in there and see what you can do, just add value. The second thing is, there's rarely ever one way to do anything. Now, like I said before, Jeremy and I, when we worked with a client, we didn't know which direction that we wanted to take her channel. Well, we did. We knew we wanted to take it to 100,000, to 1 million subscribers, of course, but we had two different ways to get there. Now, one of my ways was we want to put out a lot of great content, just like Jeremy had said. But with me, I'm thinking, how can we pick a video that's working really, really well and get some audience behind it? And one of my strategies was, okay, release great content, and then pick one of the best videos and run an ad for that video as a discovery ad, and then get that video seen when you're targeting certain audiences. So if you're in the beauty space and you know you brought a new product in the beauty space or whatever, and you're making great consistent videos, now one video I think will blow up because you're talking about a certain product and it's just a great video. That video will probably run an ad to your audience, which would probably be people that are into beauty too, so people that watch Kim Kardashian and Kylie Jenner, or people, whatever in that space, right? So that was my main approach. Now Jeremy's approach was a lot different. Jeremy's approach was complete organic growth, which is just putting out video after video after video after video every single day if you can, or at least 3 to 5 times a week. And I don't really believe anyone is right or wrong in this situation, because as I had researched at the time, using YouTube ads to promote some videos, like YouTube, that you don't get like penalized for it, like you don't get any penalties, nothing actually happens to you. It's not just if you're running an ad, it's how you run the ad that counts too. And if you always rely on running ads to grow your channel, then in the long run it may not work out for you, because you'll have loads of people that may be turned off and that are like dead on your channel, but yet you have such a high subscriber count. So you have to do it correctly. But Jeremy's was always, regardless of that, let's just go organic every single day and put out videos. Now, like I said, with this lesson, it taught me there's rarely ever one way to do anything, because there's so many channels that have used that method. One of them being The Future. So I don't know if you've seen this channel, The Future. Really, really cool channel about design and business and sales, but mostly about the design and graphic design space. And in one of the videos, the founder, Chris, I think his name was, he said, you know, he was putting out loads of content and doing really well, but there was just one video that he knew that he needed a lot of push behind. He needed a boost. He needed some audience behind. And what Chris did was he ran an ad for that video, and that video in, I think, maybe a small space of time, blew up a little bit, and that also introduced other people to his channel too. The third and final thing that I learned working with Jeremy is always look deeper and see the factors. Now, this is kind of connected to the number 2 that I just said, but I decided to put it as its own little entity too, because essentially it means that even when you think that there's one way to do anything, go deep on it and find out why that actually is. And sometimes the answer will probably surprise you. So when I said before, you know, there's really one way to do anything, and Jeremy wanted to do organic and I wanted to do ads, well, I think it's because of how he had first probably grown the channel, or helped Evan Carmichael grow the channel, which is, on Evan Carmichael's channel, generally, it's not really, and I haven't seen it for a while, so I need to see it again, because I want to make sure that I'm telling the truth here, and you know, I'm not saying things that are just fictitious or whatever. But generally, when I used to see the channel mainly focuses on getting great advice clips, or just great clips in general, from popular business leaders. So this could be Bill Gates, it could be Warren Buffett, it could be Jeff Bezos, it could be Elon Musk. And then Jeremy would, not just Jeremy, but Evan Carmichael, they would work together to compile the clips together into one coherent video. So the video could be, this is why you should work hard. And then the clips would mostly be of Bill Gates talking about why you should work hard in multiple different ways or whatever. Now, when you're using notable figures, famous people, and you're using their videos to make one video in its own thing, it's not too difficult to get organic views, because people know Bill Gates, right? The majority of people in business have heard of Bill Gates. It's really unlikely that you haven't heard of the name Bill Gates. It's really unlikely that you haven't heard of the name Elon Musk or names like that. So these videos will usually get viewership anyway, regardless of what channel it's on. And Evan Carmichael rarely interrupts the videos from when I used to see them. He would usually say, hey, these are my top 5 picks of what Bill Gates said about this. And then he lets the thing run, and then he might talk in the middle here and there, but at the end, then he'll talk. So that organic strategy of using a Bill Gates video, using a Warren Buffett video, using an Elon Musk video, it works, which means he is telling the truth 100%. But when you're growing your own YouTube channel and you're not using other people's content or talking about other people, and you want to get from the ground, from 0 to your first 1,000, to your first 5, 10, 100,000, 1 million, the strategies there are pretty different, because in a way that's kind of like a reaction channel. So that's why, the growth of it can keep growing and growing and growing. So again, the organic strategy works, that Jeremy was saying, but if you go deeper and you look at all the factors, it doesn't actually seem like it would work if someone else was doing the same thing, talking about themselves or their lives. Okay, so that's one thing that I needed to say. Always look deeper and see the factors. And this doesn't just work on when we're talking about YouTube. This works on when we're talking about life in general. When you hear something and you're trying to understand what something is, don't just look at it at face value. Go deeper and try to understand what are the contributing factors to what the situation has become, or what's actually happening in this space and time right now. And a lot of the times you'll find, and I think I spoke about this before on a video that I did earlier, I'll try to add it at the top of this video. It should be popping up anywhere near there. But in the video as well, I speak about statistics, and how if you look at statistics on face value too, you may see something and be like, well, this is how it is, and accept it. But really dive deep into it and try not to just look at stuff in a black and white way. Look at stuff in the gray area. When I was at university, I told this story before, but when I was at university and I wanted to find a job, on the brochure and on certain walls on the university, it wrote that I think 60 or 65% of people that are trying to find a job find the job within the first 6 months or something like that of leaving university, which that statistic is true. But if you go deeper and you dive into it, you'll find out that that statistic isn't really that true, because what you understand from that and what they mean from that is a little different, and it's all like semantics, and they change words to make it seem a type of way. But when they say 60% of people find a job, they never clarified in the report or in the statistics what job. So if you had asked them, well, what do you mean they find a job? Because if you get out from university and you were studying anthropology or whatever you were studying, and then I don't know, anyway, but you were studying something, and then you came out and you got a job at McDonald's, which there's nothing wrong getting a job at McDonald's. You have to do what you have to do. But if you get a job in McDonald's, can you actually put that in the statistics and say 60% actually find a job after university? Because the whole point of going to university in the first place is to make sure that you get a high paying job in the field that you were studying for. If you get a job as a carpenter and you went because you wanted to be an aeronautical engineer, you know, it's like there's nothing wrong with being a carpenter. It's a skilled trade, but I'm just saying, you know, you went for something and then you came out with something else, you know, and I don't see why they should take claim or say, yes, we helped that person do that. Okay. Also, other people too that I know, they went to school for like a business administration degree. They came out as a receptionist. There's certain people that went in to be an actor, and now they're, you know, blowing balloons at children's parties, but that's still claimed as a job. So always go deeper and try to find the factors of what things actually are. So that's one thing that I learned. That's the third thing, that I learned working with Jeremy indirectly. Just to make it absolutely clear, I'm not trying to say this to, you know, smear or ruin anyone's image or whatever. I'm literally just talking about the life stuff that I learned from working with Evan Carmichael's team, especially someone like Jeremy. Jeremy seems to be an amazing person, seems to be very helpful, seems to always, you know, add value, and, you know, I appreciate his work and what he does, because I also do the same thing, and I know how hard it is in our space, as it's relatively new compared to other things, I guess. But it's been great working with Jeremy. No disrespect at all. It's just three things that I had learned indirectly, and I might make another video talking about the things that I have learned directly working with him on a client channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, probably subscribe. Sometimes I don't like saying the like, subscribe thing, because I just like leaving the video, but I guess I've been trained so much and I've been training other people to do it. But yeah, like, subscribe the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you don't. Leave a comment if I missed out anything, or I didn't clarify certain things, or you may want to know certain things too. I could reply to the comments on that. And if you're interested in business and marketing videos, we have other videos that should show up on the screen in the next few seconds. All right, thank you guys. We'll speak soon. Bye.